Morning guys, and welcome back to another Van Build Tech Talk with Curt. I'm Curt, and excited to have you guys today. Thanks for checking in and watching. Today really is about responding to your comments. It's a Q&A version to a number of the Tech Talks I've already put out. And I always ask you and thank you guys for all the comments. They really make this channel more robust. And I also can see that in the comments section, some of the community is answering the questions, which is really great, because that's one of the things I wanted to create with this Tech Talk, was a community where we could kind of have real talk about van conversion, van build, and all those things. And so I'm really happy to see the communication going across. But one thing I've realized is that I really haven't, even though I respond to those in the comments, I haven't responded to those with a video. And so what I've done is I've gone back through the first 8 episodes of the Tech Talk videos, and I've taken a question out from the comment section, and so today we're going to talk to those. And so hopefully you guys will enjoy this, and you'll find it informative. If so, please give me a thumbs up, and also let me know in the comments if you like this format. I think maybe it makes sense to do it about once a month to sort of recap and answer some questions that come back from the Tech Talk. So that's kind of where I'm thinking about going with this. So please give me some feedback and let me know what you think about that. But with that, I want to jump right into the content. And so I'll start first with episode 1. And if you guys remember, that was on solar. I did a Tech Talk on the solar and really the impacts of the tilt, and kind of went through the solar system, the 1080 watt solar system that I have. And I got a lot of great feedback. But one question or comment that we got from Flyshacker about that was, loved it. The difference of power generation with the tilt is so extreme that I can't believe more camper vans don't have tilting solar panels. You have shown that tilting is almost as important as the solar panels themselves. So thank you for that, Flyshacker. I don't know your first name. I assume it's not Fly. But anyway, I appreciate the comment and the question. What I will say is that, you know, for those of you who don't know, we've been in the van now for about 6 months. And as winter approaches, it's clear to me that the sun is not coming up as high in the sky as it does in the summer. And I mean, I guess that's obviously common sense, but the reality is in the winter time I've found that tilt is more important than even in the summer when I originally sort of did this video. So it definitely has, the tilt definitely has a big impact. Along the lines of the tilt, I've also gotten multiple comments that some people would like to tilt, but they don't want a big box like the attic that we have on top of our van. And so there was some questions on whether or not they can do. What I will do is I will leave a link in the description to the actuators, the linear actuators that I got, and you can call those and find out what linear actuators would be best for your situation. So if you're only using it to tilt 1 or 2 panels, you probably would only need a small linear actuator, and you certainly wouldn't need the space that I have. The space that I created between the solar panels and the top of my roof was primarily so that I could open my max air fans. So if you have a situation where you're going to put your solar panels around the fans instead of above them, then I don't see any reason that you could not have a much smaller space and still accomplish the tilt. Now again, you'll need to talk to the linear actuator manufacturer that you choose, and you'll need to check the size and all that type of stuff that you'll need to lift that. But I certainly think that what you guys are asking in terms of tilting with less space is definitely possible. So again, I appreciate all the comments on the solar. But we'll move on to the second episode, which was air conditioning. And so if you guys remember from watching that Tech Talk, I have got a 12 volt under chassis air conditioning. Now, to be fair, in that episode, I talked a lot more about climate control than just air conditioning. And so there was a lot of other topics. And some people commented on that they wanted to hear more about the air conditioner. And the one comment that I get, and this is unanimous, I didn't pick anybody specific out for this because a lot of people wanted to know what brand and where they can get these units. And I'll just tell you this, I reached out to the manufacturer that I've got this system from, and they're not actually the manufacturer, they're sort of a distributor. I reached out to them prior to putting that tech talk together and had some discussions about getting permission and making sure they were okay. To be honest with you, I had a little bit of initial problem hooking up with those guys to get this system. I'm super excited about the system. I would highly recommend it, and I would recommend working with the company that I work with. But honestly, I don't really have permission to share who they are yet, and I don't feel confident that I recommended and told you even who it was, and you called them, that you would get the kind of service that I would want to recommend. And so I promise I'm working to try with the company to try to get a line of communication or get some support, so that when you do call into these guys, that they take good care of you. Again, great air conditioner, great product. I just don't feel confident that I have all the ducks in a row to release who it is just yet. So I apologize for that. I am working with them to try to get some information for you guys. So please be patient with me. That's all I can tell you on that one. Episode 3 was on the recirculating shower, and this, I think, of all the Tech Talk videos, has probably been the #1 most popular subject that I've talked about. I came back and I did a recirculating shower maintenance video, and some of you have probably seen that. But on the recirculating shower, John Tapman, and John, I just want to give you a shout out and say thank you. I noticed you're also watching our travel series and some of our other videos, and you're commenting. We love your comments. We always love hearing you. So thumbs up to John Tapman. But the question about the recirculating shower is, that's an amazing system. Your design engineering is unlike anything I've ever seen in a van. Thank you very much, John. One thought, however, since everything is under chassis, I assume you do not spend any time in sub-freezing temps. So I did talk a little bit about this in the hydronic heating tech talk that I did last week. I did not anticipate being in freezing temperatures for at least another year initially, and so winterizing my under chassis was definitely on my mind and something I wanted to accomplish. But I did get into some freezing temperatures. It's been cold this year. We didn't get as far south as soon as we anticipated, and so winterizing the underside of the van has definitely become higher on the priority list. I'll also tell you that we are getting ready to leave the United States by the end of this year or early next year in January. We'll be in Mexico, Central America, South America, and beyond. And so we have sort of a checklist of things that we want to get done on the van before we leave. Winterizing is one of them. I'm also looking at my suspension and as well as my emissions. There could be some issues there. So I am planning on winterizing. I do plan on releasing a video for what I do and how I do that. I will be leveraging my hydronic heating system. So you stay in touch. You guys turn the notifications on, so when I release that video, you guys will get notified. But again, thanks for that question. Moving along to episode number 4, we talked about layout and planning. Sherry Muniz, I hope I pronounced that right. But she says, I love your van build, especially your walk-through bathroom. My question is, with the rooftop storage, how do you plan to ship your van for your world travels? So we've gotten a few comments from various of the Tech Talk videos, as well as I think some of our travel videos. But as you guys know, we have an attic that adds about 12 inches total to the height of the van, and on top of that sits our tiltable solar panel array. So there are certainly height issues with shipping in a container, which is what we plan on doing. I can tell you that we've heard too many stories about roll-on, roll-off RoRo shipping. Just saw one in one of the Facebook pages that we follow the other day, and so RoRo really is not an option for us. But when I did build the attic up top, I did construct it in a way that I could disassemble and reassemble that. I would like to say to easily disassemble and reassemble. I think it'll probably take 2 or 3 hours to take it off, and probably more like 5 or 6 hours to put it back on. So it will take a day on each side dedicated to doing that. But fortunately, we only see 2 ships, probably 2 shipping occurrences in the next 3 to 5 years. And so yeah, something we'll have to do. So again, thank you for that question, Sherry, and all the others that we did get a lot of questions in general on that topic in terms of shipping in the van and the height to get in a container. Episode number 5 was Electrics Simplified, and Ben Fraser asks, our comments and asks, I've been really enjoying your videos. I consider myself pretty well informed, but you've constantly shown me things that I've never seen or thought of before. So thanks, and thank you for that awesome comment. That really feels good. Ben, I do appreciate that. I have a question about your second alternator. How does it charge your battery bank? Does it charge via direct connection? That seems like a bad idea. Or through a DC to DC charger to manage the charge profile? If it's the latter, where did you find the DC to DC charger that can manage the full output of the additional alternator? Thanks again, Ben. Ben, appreciate the question. I have not done a talk specifically on the second alternator. I think I want to, because it is so important to our electrical system. It is so, the thing is awesome. We're very pleased with what we have so far. 6 months in the van. The alternator is an amazing supplement to the solar panels, and in some cases the primary against the solar panels. If you guys watch our travel videos, you know we've been touring a lot, and so most times if we need to cut the alternator on, or we feel like we want to get the batteries up, we cut them on for an hour or 2 and then we turn the alternator off. But it's working very, very well. I worked with a specific company on this alternator. As far as I know, they're the best out there. Again, I'm going to release I want to talk to the company first to make sure that they're okay with me releasing their name. But I do believe we have a Balmer regulator between the alternator and the batteries, and I also have a protection, I believe it's from Sterling alternator. And again, I'll release this stuff in my alternator tech talk. But what that does is, if my battery management system cuts off and says, okay, my batteries have enough charge, and it cuts the charge off, then the alternator still kicking out power, where does that charge from that alternator go? And so this Sterling alternator protector is a necessary thing to cut that power so you don't blow up your alternator. So there's a couple pieces in there. I don't want to go into detail in this tech talk. I just simply don't have time, but I will put out a video on that, I'm thinking. And so again, hit the notification bell. But thanks, Ben, for the question. The second alternator is money, and I'm going to put some more details out on that for you. So appreciate that. The 6th episode was plumbing. Aaron Schumacher comments, your videos are wonderfully informative and appreciate them greatly as I start my own build. Good luck on your build. It is a very fun and rewarding process. Also can be challenging and frustrating, but good luck on that, Aaron. After watching this video and the recirculating shower video, I have a couple questions. Do you have 2 separate complete filter systems for the fresh and gray shower tanks? Also, I'm assuming you have 2 gray tanks, one for the shower, one for the sink and toilet. Aaron, you're exactly right. I have 2 completely separate systems. My sink, which is basically my freshwater system, has a freshwater tank, a gray water tank, and it has its own filtration system. The filtration system is similar to the one that I use in the shower, including a UV light. But it is a completely separate. So I have 2 filtration systems, 2 UV lights, and those handle each. And the shower system, which I've detailed in the Tech Talk video, is completely separate. So you hit the nail on the head with that. So thank you for your questions. Again, as it relates to plumbing, there are a lot of under chassis weatherproofing questions. I will address that in upcoming episodes. Number 7, appliances. Ron Gilbert asks, hey Curt, I would like to full-time in my RV with a cat. I want to get a male Bengal kitten and go on the road with him. Here's what's stopping me. I have fairly new motorhome and I don't want a cat to destroy my RV furniture by clawing it up. How do you travel with your cats and not have them destroy the furniture? I won't declaw my cat. Please tell me how you prevent the destruction from your cat claws. So this is not necessarily an appliance question, but I think for those of you who watch our channels, you know we're cat lovers, and so I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about our cats. If you saw Vanna, or if you saw our last episode, hydronic heating system, Vanna tried to make a guest appearance and you saw her tail go across the screen. I got her a toy in the background, so you may see that bouncing around, but hopefully you won't see her show up in this video. But we love our kitty cats. And Ron, I think I answered this in the comments, but I'll just tell everybody, generally speaking, that you know, cats have claws and they love to grab things and stretch their claws and stuff like that. And so if I were to show you some pictures of some of our furniture, you can definitely see traces where they've already they haven't torn anything up, but they've definitely left their mark with that. We do try to, with our rugs, we try to make choices where they have things that they can stretch and scratch on that they won't destroy, or if they destroy, we can simply replace. We purposely do not have leather furniture. We know from our home that they love leather and they will tear it up. And so I can't really offer you any great solutions for the cats other than give them some alternative scratching areas, and then, you know, try to choose fabrics that may be a little bit more durable to that type of activity. And then keep their claws trimmed. You can trim their claws and that helps out a lot. But I can't honestly say that you're gonna have good luck protecting all your furniture, particularly if you already have leather furniture. But thanks for asking about the cats, and good luck. I would encourage you to get cats. They make our journey much better. We absolutely love you know, G Money and Vanna White, and so they're doing quite well, so appreciate that. Episode number 8, shower maintenance. And this question or comment is from Foul Prank. And he says, great information, Curt. Thanks for posting. Recirculating shower will be the next big thing for van life for sure. I absolutely agree with that. I get some comments with people saying it's just too much work, and I totally get that. There's a lot of people in van life right now who aren't living full-time in their van, and for those people, I definitely understand why you wouldn't want to shower. For anyone who plans on living in their van full-time for an extended period of time, and when I say that, for more than 3 or 4 weeks, I can't imagine not having a recirculating shower. It's absolutely amazing. Even today, after 6 months of using it, Snow and I will get out of the shower and we'll both be like, wow, that was great. I'm so happy that we have that. So I absolutely believe that will be the next big thing in van life. There have been some comments about people who would like to see the water quality test, and I looked into testing equipment. Honestly, it's quite expensive. I'd like to do some testing on the water myself. However, we really haven't had any issues. We're still toying with the maintenance to get it dialed in, but I think we have a pretty good maintenance routine. Seems to be working really well. But here's the follow-up question. I have 2 follow-up questions. I understand that it makes sense for you to change your shower water at the same time you top off your fresh water. But if you had a larger freshwater tank and you could boondock longer, how long would you feel comfortable reusing the same filtered water in your shower? Could you go 2 weeks, a month? And number 2 is, what's the cost to replace the filters roughly? So let me take the first one. The more water, the larger your shower reservoir is, the less times you're going to run it through the filters during the showering process, right? So typically you're looking at about 1.5 gallons to 2.5 gallons per minute with your water flow. So if you take a 10-minute shower, do the math, you're looking at about 15 gallons. So you're really, on a single shower, you're only turning that water over maybe once or twice. So you're not giving the filters a heavy duty workout. If you were to go down to like a 3-gallon tank, obviously you're going to be turning that water over a lot, and you're going to be using those filters a lot more. So I think, and I don't know this, but my opinion is that if you have a larger tank, you're not going to work the filters as hard, and you can probably get more time from that water change. I think that you probably can stretch it. The one thing that I've noticed could be an inhibitor is in the filter cartridge. When the water goes through and filters that, the residue or whatever it is that gets filtered out sort of stays in that cartridge, right? And so you just get more and more contaminants in there over time. And so that, I think, is going to be the limiting factor. I haven't found one, but I wish these cartridges had a little release valve on the bottom of them, similar to what's on the spin down filter, so that you could just drain that sort of nasty water out of the cartridge. I think if you could do that, if there was a cartridge like that where you could just drain that nasty water out of there, I think you would get a lot longer time out of your filters. So I hope that answers your question. I can't answer it factually. I kind of got to throw some opinion in there, but I think you could definitely go longer. A month, in my experience, is probably a bit long unless you're able to do some of the other things that I talked about. And then what's the cost to replace the filters? I'll put the filters in the description so you can look at those. I can't remember off the top of my head. I recently, and I think I talked about this in the shower maintenance video, but I recently went from the sort of the filter, the fiber filters, to all carbon filters, to all charcoal or carbon, some form of carbon filter. So all 3 of them now are carbon filters. And I have definitely noticed an improvement in, just an improvement in the system. So I think that could also help to extend your water, but I don't have enough evidence or proof to really say that with a great deal of confidence. But I do think that I'm noticing an improvement with that process. So I'm not going to talk to episode 9. It just came out, so I'm going to give some folks time to watch episode 9 on hydronic heating, and I will come back in a Q&A and include that in our next Q&A, so comments and questions on that. But listen, guys, I want to wrap this video up, but I appreciate you guys watching, and I really appreciate your comments. Please let me know if you enjoy this format, if you want to see more follow-ups on your question and your questions and comments. I would love to do that, and maybe even do that more frequently. Be sure to check out our travel series. Those are videos that we love to shoot and we love to share, so we hope you can follow us on our journey. And then we also have a Real Talk series where we just talk about what van life is really like. And so definitely check those out as well. Hit the like and subscribe, and please join us on the next one. It was great to see you guys. Thanks for the comments. Cheers. We'll see you on the next one.